Hi, we are moving on, and I've got the signature all laid out and ready to go, and this is going to be signature number 3. So you can see that I am using this here as my base page. The reverse side of that has this big sunburst. There were some other elements on there, but I wanted to kind of lighten the mood just a little bit and pull in this one. And I'm doing just a short accent with a tag that is mounted onto blue cardstock. I'll get it out, and this will be a tuck. And then down here we're going to have a pocket, and I pulled this out of scrap, and this is the striped paper that we're using. And then I put on my die cutting machine, I cut out the lion and then a gold accent for behind it, and he's going to go right here in this corner. So that's what I'm doing. So let's get down to measurements. This should be the same. It's coming in at 8 1/4 inches across, and we're going to be at 8 5/8 of an inch in your height. This pocket here measures 2 inches by the 8 1/4 going across. And I forgot to put my tape on this again. Hope I can see I didn't put tape on anything, so I apologize. You get to watch me put tape on. That is such an educational event. All right. All right, snag it in a corner down here, line it up on the side, and then it should just walk straight over. I have a little bit hanging on here. I'm going to cut it off. I must have been asleep when I measured that. Eight 1/4. All right, so this is what we are using in scraps. And if I'm using a scrap that you don't like for whatever reason, it's no biggie, change it. And then we're gonna, I gotta check my measurement on this. No, this is fine, but I do have some pencil marks. And then I think I'm just going to do about here. I should be just fine. Good, 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 good. All right, this little piece measures in length 4 7/8. There's no particular reason that I cut it that length. It was just the length of paper that was in my scrap stash. And it measures at 5/8 in the height, and then I trimmed and cut that to fit. So this is going to come off the edge of the paper about 1/4 of an inch. And we'll line that up there. And then on this, we're going to just glue from this corner to this corner. We'll glue this top down. So, that, well, no, you know what? That's probably going to be, I'll need to glue this. I need to glue it all the way down to here, because if I don't, then this is going to stick up like it's doing. I don't want it to do that. So I will come down here and glue. Okay, and then there's our tuck. All right, we are done with that. All right, let's go and work on our flaps. I need to get this out of here without dislodging everything that I've got set in here. There we go. Okay. Bear with me while I take care of some detail here. All right, this measures 8 inches across, 8 inches by your 8 5/8 in the height. Score it at 1/2 and then score it at 5/8. And we're going to bring this right up to the 1/2 inch line. And then I'm going to push back. I had trouble making my score lines on this, so I'm going to push back and remind that particular score line where it's supposed to be. Now this one measures 5.5 inches across by your 8 5/8 in height, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, and you're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch. And same thing, we want to make sure that we are coming right up to that 1/2 inch score line. Okay, this will close left over right, so we need to get ourselves a couple of magnets. And we're going to put the magnet on the underside here on the left. We're going to do that first. And then I want to, just a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to make sure that my hinges are where they're supposed to be. And then I'll take some tape and I will tape that down. All right. So here on the inside, gotta get all my pieces put back together here. This is the piece of paper that I cut, and I wanted what looks like to me to be moons across the top, so I cut it accordingly, and I'm rounding the corner on my right side flaps, so I need to round this corner up here. I'm such a goof. I'm always forgetting something. Okay, so that's going to line up there. And then this one is going to line up over here. On this left side, we're going to do a belly band, so I'll get back to that in just a second. But over here, we're going to do 2 stacked pockets. So pull out any scraps that you happen to like. These were the 2 I chose. I wanted something kind of bright on this. Oh, come on. And then this was the other one that I chose. And then I cut 2 decorative strips, but I cut them short this time rather than take them all the way across. I'm in the right direction. And so that's what we're going to have here. This is such a big piece, I'm going to use some tape to tape it down so that I'm not trying to catch up with the glue. A little stabilizing strip down the center. I need to trim this because it's going to just drive my ice line, the sight, my eyesight, the line of my eyesight. There I go. It's going to drive me crazy. All right, so my bottom pocket and then the pocket that's going to tuck into it have 2 different measurements. This bottom pocket measures 2 1/8 in its height by 7 1/4 in its length, and you will tape 3 of the sides, the left, right, and the bottom. But don't tack it down completely on these 2 corners. Just kind of place it in, tack everything else down, but not those 2 corners, because we're going to slip this in behind it. This one measures 2 3/8 by 7 1/4. I wanted to have about 1/4 of an inch that could tuck in behind here. And I need to make sure that I've got this set about right. Okay. I only taped 2 ends. I'm going to lift this. I'm going to come in here, line it up on the side. I'm not tacking it down because I want to make sure that this is going to sit in there the way I wanted it to, that I don't have to move that. I need to just push it down just a little bit. Well, it's already stuck. Oh well, I'm not going to undo it to do it. It'll work out. It'll be just fine. All right, so I'm going to lift this. I'm going to come in here, drop that just inside there. And then I'm going to glue this one in. This one I had to round the corner here because I've rounded the corner on the bottom here. Okay, so now I'm going to take these short, I'm just going to call them short strips, center them as best I can. Now, these were cut from the same strip. Oops. So make sure that your pattern matches. So you're either blue on the top or brown on the top. Okay, so that is done. Now we're going to get over here. This has got a magnet. So I'm going to tape this in place. We'll use this as our stabilizer. Line this up. Oh, I don't believe I just did that. Dad blast it. Ay, ay, ay. Can I do this without having to tear the whole thing apart? Yeah, I think I'm going to do it this way. The intent was to tuck these back behind this piece, and I just got all excited and just simply taped the whole thing down and then forgot about the belly band. So the belly band is going to measure at 9 3/8, and then I scored mine at 3/8 on each of the ends. So I'm going to fold them under, and I will just tape them down, balance this, and well, actually I can glue these down. Watch, I'm going to regret this. You watch. Okay. Cut this piece. Decorate the center of this. And then I took one of the cards, cut it out, and did some Wink of Stella on the moon, and that's going to sit in the center here. So hopefully you don't make the same mistake that I made. Belly band should wrap around your decorative piece. Now I'm just going to go down the center because I don't know. Let me look here. Oh, I could have glued the whole thing. Nah, a little bit of an overhang. Okay, so that's done. Now so that's what we have here for the internal pages. Now this out here, we're going to use this piece. You're going to trim it off the top. Try not trim this because to me that's part of the pattern that flows through the album on this piece we've been working on the entire time. And then this was perfectly suited to run through my die cutting machine. So I took one of my circle dies and I cut this out, and then I took the same die and cut out a real thin piece of chipboard. It was a packaging separation that came in some stuff that I ordered, and they had included that in there to keep things, so I utilize them. And now this, a moon, will come over here. So then when you close this and you have this in place, you can see that this pattern continues across the bottom. So if you're cutting for height, cut it off the top. So we have the moon in here. Now there will be a pocket, but we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not bringing the pocket all the way to the bottom. We're going to bring the pocket right on top of this really pretty strip. And then I had a piece of scrap that had sun rays, so I cut that to put in here, and then I trimmed out the decorative, and I went all the way across on this. And remember where we had that leftover flower from a piece that we were cutting from? And then I cut this out. You have a full sheet of these Elements Zodiacs. I cut this out and I mounted on gold cardstock on a die that was just a little bit bigger. And I've taped this side so that this will come up here and it will be a tuck. And you have a tuck and you have a pocket. And you can place this anywhere you want. I like to just try to offset it a little bit so it doesn't look so sterile, if you will. You know, you stick things in the middle. So I like to put it here off to the side. So let's work here on the front. This can all get glued. And then if you will tolerate me for just a second, I'm going to lean to my right and I'm going to pull the backing off all the foam pop-up strips. That's an education you don't need to have. Now when you cut this out, if you choose to cut it out, I got disoriented with this, so I had to actually look through some pictures of this paper because I forgot which way this went once I cut it out. So this comes to the top. There's a line here and then there's a line right here, and they match up with these two lines here. So when you put it back in, you just line those up and it drops right in place. So now we have a little bit of built up height here. It creates a nice visual element. Now you can cut, if you wanted to cut it bigger, you can, but see there is this beautiful design that goes all the way around this. So I made sure that when I cut this that I left that intact. And when I trimmed this piece, you see there's like a bracket over here, so I trimmed it so that this bracket stayed in place, and then that's where I took the rest of the paper and put it over here. Okay, this is going to take some tape because we've got a magnet on this side. And again, these corners have been rounded. And I will use the tape on this as my paper stabilizer. Okay, get this lined up in here. All right, this pocket measures 2 inches by 7 3/8. And like I said, it's going to sit just above this line. So that when the left side flap closes, this continues on. Just above it. And then we'll put on this piece. You know what I didn't do? I didn't cut. I gotta do that real quick because that's gonna drive me crazy if I don't. So that was 7 1/4 inches. Hold on just a moment. It won't take me very long. How long is this? Oh, that's perfect. I already have one cut and ready to go, so I can just put it here on the trimmer. Good old hand crank. Okay, because I've already taped this down. Oh, I got the wrong half. getting a little excited here, goodness sakes. All right, so I am going to tape the bottom of this. And then I'm going to first off, oh, perfect. I'm going to lift this corner up where the tape is. I'm going to slide this underneath. Come on. Okay. It's sticking when I don't want it to, and it's sticking where I don't want it to. Okay, got it. Ta-da! Okay, so I have a little bit of tape showing there, but I'll work that out later. Okay, so this is going to go here. I think I'm going to turn it upside down because I've got this gold strip here that will help break it up if that's on the bottom of it. And then we'll just place this flower in here, and I'm just going to glue the center of it so that I can kind of roll these up just a little bit. All right, there's that. And then this lovely guy. Okay, so he becomes a tuck, and then you've got yourselves a pocket. All right, so this is what we have here on the front of our album. We've got double pockets here. There are some stars in in between some of the cutout cards. If you want, you can put them in here to create a decorative element, but we've got a double stacked pocket. And just to show you, this stacks here, and this will go all the way through, because remember, we didn't tape the bottom of that. Otherwise, this pocket would have stopped right there, but for those longer items, you'll be able to go all the way down. Okay, let's turn it over and let's get the big tape out, and we can get this put in the album. All right, let's get the album out here. And this is going to line up right here. So I will take off this one and these two. Make sure that's going in the right direction. And then I'm going to come all the way to the end. Carefully lay it in place. Push. take the rest of this off. Come on, there we go. Push back on that a little bit. Okay, we are all done. We've only got 2 more to go. So thank you for hanging in there. So until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.